The alarm bells rang through the research station like screaming metal birds. Jake Morrison dropped his coffee cup and ran to the main control room. Red lights flashed everywhere. The other scientists were already there, their faces pale with fear. "What happened?" Jake asked as he pushed through the crowd. Dr. Helen Carter pointed at the big screen on the wall. It showed a city far below on the planet's surface. Smoke rose from broken buildings. People ran in the streets like ants from a kick nest. "The beast broke out again," Helen said. Her voice shook. "It's in Veltar City now." Jake stared at the screen. He had studied the beast for 2 years but had never seen it attack a city before. The creature was huge, bigger than any building. Its skin looked like black glass with sharp points sticking out. When it moved, parts of its body seemed to disappear and come back. Commander Lisa Rodriguez walked into the room. Her uniform was neat, but her face showed worry. Behind her came 3 aliens from the Zephyrian race. They were tall and thin with blue skin. Their leader was High Researcher Keith Amori. "How many people are hurt?" Lisa asked. "We don't know yet," said one of the aliens. His voice sounded like wind through metal pipes. "The beast moves too fast. Our weapons cannot touch it." Jake had seen the aliens try to fight the beast before. They had guns that shot bright lights. They had machines that could control minds. They had bombs that could level mountains. Nothing worked on the beast. It just kept attacking. "Why did it come to the city?" Jake asked. Kethmori turned his big black eyes toward Jake. "We do not know. The beast has no mind we can read. It acts like a wild animal, but it is too smart. It knows how to avoid our traps." On the screen, Jake watched the beast tear through a tall building. The structure fell like it was made of paper, but something caught his attention. When the building fell, it made a loud crash. The beast stopped moving. It turned its head toward the sound. "Did you see that?" Jake said. "See what?" Helen asked. The beast stopped when the building fell. It was listening to the sound. Lisa looked at him. "What are you thinking, Jake?" Jake had spent his whole life studying animals. On Earth, he had worked with elephants and whales. Big animals often used sound to talk to each other. Maybe this beast was the same. "I think the beast reacts to sounds," Jake said. "Look at the video again." They played the video back. Every time there was a loud noise, the beast would stop and turn its head. When children screamed, the beast moved faster. When machines made high sounds, the beast seemed angry. "This means nothing," said Kethmori. "All animals hear sounds. This does not help us stop it." But Jake was thinking. He remembered his grandfather's stories about taming wild horses. His grandfather always said that music could calm any animal. Jake had thought it was just an old man's tale. But maybe there was truth in it. "Have you tried music?" Jake asked. The aliens looked at each other. One of them made a sound like laughing, but it was not a happy sound. "Music is for children," said Kethmori. "We stopped using such things long ago. Music wastes time." Jake felt angry but tried not to show it. The aliens thought they were better than humans. They had faster ships and bigger guns. But they could not stop one beast. "What if the beast wants to communicate?" Jake said. "What if it's trying to tell us something?" "The beast kills," said another alien. "It destroys our cities. What more do we need to know?" On the screen, the beast was moving toward the center of the city. Thousands of people lived there. If the beast reached them, many would die. "We have to evacuate the city," Lisa said. "Get everyone out before the beast reaches the center." "Our ships are already working," said Kethmori. "But the beast moves fast. We may not save everyone." Jake watched the beast on the screen. It moved like it was dancing. Its steps had a pattern. When it roared, the sound had rhythm like a song. Maybe the beast was not just a killer. Maybe it was trying to say something and no one was listening. "I want to study the beast more," Jake said. "There is no time," said Kethmori. "We must attack it with everything we have." "Your attacks don't work," Jake said. "You've been fighting this beast for years. How many cities has it destroyed? How many people have died? Maybe it's time to try something different." Lisa put her hand on Jake's shoulder. "What do you have in mind?" "Let me watch the beast more. Let me study how it moves and sounds. Maybe I can find a pattern." "The beast will kill more people while you watch," said one of the aliens. "People are dying anyway," Jake said. "Your way isn't working. Let me try mine." The room was quiet except for the sound of alarms. On the screen, the beast continued to destroy the city. Jake could see people running away from it. Some fell and did not get up. Lisa looked at the aliens, then back at Jake. "You have one day," she said. "If you can't find anything useful, we attack with everything we have." Jake nodded. One day was not much time, but maybe it was enough to save both the people and the beast. He had a feeling that the beast was not evil. It was just misunderstood. And if Jake was right, then music might be the key to everything. Jake spent the whole night watching videos of the beast. He had coffee and energy bars but forgot to eat them. Helen sat with him, helping him look for patterns. "There," Jake said, pointing at the screen. "Watch what happens when that truck horn sounds." The beast had been walking straight toward a group of buildings. When the truck made its loud honking sound, the beast stopped. It turned its head left and right like it was looking for something. "It's searching for the source of the sound," Helen said. "Right. And look at this." Jake played another video. In this one, a child was crying. The beast moved toward the sound, but stopped before reaching the child. It made a low rumbling noise. "Is it trying to answer the child?" Helen asked. Jake played the sound again. The beast's rumble had a pattern. Short sound, long sound, short sound. It was like the beat of a song. "I think you're right," Jake said. "The beast is trying to communicate." They kept watching videos until the sun came up. Jake found 12 times when the beast had responded to sounds. Music from a radio made it stop and tilt its head. A dog barking made it make soft sounds back. Even the sound of wind through broken windows seemed to calm it down. "We need to test this," Jake said. "How?" Helen asked. "The beast is destroying a city. We can't just walk up to it with a radio." Jake had an idea, but it was dangerous. In the research station, they had a small beast in a cage. It was much smaller than the one attacking the city, but it was the same type. The aliens had caught it months ago and kept it for testing. "We tested on the captured beast first," Jake said. Helen looked worried. "That beast is dangerous too. It almost killed 3 guards last week. It's our only chance to prove the theory before trying it on the big one." They went to the holding area deep in the station. The captured beast was in a room made of strong metal and energy shields. It was about the size of a large truck. Its black glass skin reflected the lights in strange ways. When Jake and Helen walked up to the window, the beast looked at them with eyes like burning stars. "It knows we're here," Helen said. "Good, that means it's smart enough to understand." Jake had brought his music player and small speakers. He had loaded it with different types of music from Earth. Classical, rock, jazz, folk songs, even children's lullabies. The guards at the holding area were 2 aliens and 1 human named Ben Taylor. Ben was a soldier, but he liked music. Jake had heard him humming songs while he worked. "What are you doing?" asked one of the alien guards. "Testing a theory," Jake said. "I think the beast responds to music." The aliens made their laughing sound again, but Ben looked interested. "What kind of music?" Ben asked. "I don't know yet. We're going to try different types." Jake started with classical music. He played a piece by Mozart that his mother used to play when he was young. The beast stopped moving around its cage. It turned toward the speakers. "It's listening," Helen said. The beast made a soft sound, like singing but deeper. Jake felt excited. His theory was working. Next, he tried rock music. The beast became agitated. It moved around the cage and made angry sounds. Jake quickly changed to something softer. He played a folk song about sailing on the ocean. The beast calmed down again. It moved closer to the window where Jake stood. Its eyes were fixed on the speakers. "This is amazing," Ben said. "I've never seen it act like this." Jake tried jazz next. The beast made different sounds like it was trying to sing along. When Jake played a blues song about loneliness, the beast made the saddest sound he had ever heard. "It understands emotions," Helen said. "The music makes it feel things." But then something went wrong. The energy shields around the cage flickered and went out. The metal walls were the only thing keeping the beast inside now. "System failure," said one of the alien guards. "We need to evacuate this area." The beast could break through metal walls easily. Jake had seen the big beast tear through buildings like paper, but this beast was not trying to escape. It was still listening to the music. Jake kept playing songs. He chose calm, peaceful music. The beast stayed still, just listening. When the song ended, it made a soft sound like asking for more. "It doesn't want to hurt us," Jake said. "It just wants to hear the music." "You're crazy," said the alien guard. "All beasts are killers." But Ben was watching the beast carefully. "No, I think Jake is right. Look at its body language, it's relaxed." The alien guards called for backup. Soon, Commander Lisa and Kethamori arrived with more soldiers. They expected to find a disaster, but instead they found Jake playing guitar while the beast listened, peacefully. "How is this possible?" Kethamori asked. "Music is a universal language," Jake said. "Even on Earth we use it to calm animals." "But beasts are not animals," said Kethamori. "They are monsters." "Maybe you're wrong about that," Jake said. "Maybe they're just misunderstood." Lisa watched the beast for a long time. It was still calm, still listening to the music. She had been a soldier for 20 years and had seen many dangerous things, but she had never seen anything like this. "Can you do this with the big beast?" she asked. "I think so," Jake said, "but I'll need to get close to it." "That's suicide," said one of the alien guards. "Maybe, but it's better than letting it destroy the city." Jake looked at the small beast in the cage. It was watching him with intelligent eyes. He played one more song, a lullaby his grandmother had sung to him. The beast closed its eyes and made a sound like purring. "It trusts me," Jake said. "If this one can trust me, maybe the big one can too." Lisa made her decision. "We're going down to the planet. You'll try your music on the big beast." "This is madness," said Kethamori. "Your way isn't working," Lisa said. "Jake's way might be our only hope." Jake packed his music equipment and his guitar. He had no idea if his plan would work on a beast the size of a building, but he had to try. Too many lives depended on it. As they prepared to leave the station, Jake looked back at the small beast. It was still calm, still listening to the soft music playing from the speakers. Maybe music really was the key to understanding these creatures. Soon he would find out. The shuttle flew down through the planet's orange sky toward Veltar City. Jake sat with his guitar case and music equipment. His hands were shaking, but he tried to stay calm. Next to him, Ben Taylor checked his weapons, even though they probably would not help against the beast. "You sure about this?" Ben asked. "No," Jake said. "But it's the only plan we have." Through the window, Jake could see the damage the beast had caused. Whole blocks of the city were flattened. Broken glass and metal covered the streets like snow. Smoke rose from fires that still burned. "Most people got out," Lisa said from the pilot's seat. "But there are still some trapped in the center." The shuttle landed in a plaza near the middle of the city. All around them, tall buildings reached toward the sky, but many had holes in them where the beast had passed through. Jake set up his equipment in the center of the plaza. He had speakers that could play music loud enough to be heard across the city. His guitar was ready. He had chosen songs that had worked on the small beast. "Where is it now?" Jake asked. Helen was watching a tracking device. 3 blocks north, it's moving this way." "How long do we have?" Lisa asked. "Maybe 10 minutes. Ben and the other soldiers formed a circle around Jake. They knew their guns would not stop the beast, but they stayed anyway. Jake was grateful for their courage. "Play something," Helen said. "Let it know we're here." Jake started with a simple folk song. The melody echoed off the broken buildings. Birds that had been hiding in the ruins began to sing along. Even in this destroyed place, music brought life. The ground began to shake. Dust fell from the damaged buildings around them. The beast was coming. "I can see it," said one of the soldiers. Jake looked up and saw the beast turn the corner at the end of the street. It was bigger than he had imagined, taller than the buildings around it. Its black glass skin caught the light and threw it back in rainbow colors. Sharp spines stuck out from its back and shoulders. The beast stopped when it heard the music. It turned its massive head toward the plaza. Its eyes were like burning stars, just like the small beast, but much brighter. "It's working," Helen said. "It's listening." Jake kept playing but changed to a slower song. The beast took a step forward, then another. Each step shook the ground like a small earthquake. "Don't stop playing," Lisa said. Her voice was tight with fear. The beast was only 1 block away now. Jake could see its face clearly. It looked angry and sad at the same time. Scars covered its skin where the aliens had shot it with their weapons. Jake finished the folk song and started playing blues. The music was sad and lonely, full of pain. The beast made a sound like a moan. It understood the sadness in the music. "It's crying," Ben said. Jake looked closer. The beast's eyes were wet. Tears ran down its face like rivers. This was not a monster. This was a creature in pain. The beast moved closer. Now it was only half a block away. Jake could feel the heat from its body. But he was not afraid anymore. The beast was not trying to hurt them. It was trying to understand. Jake started playing a song his grandfather had taught him. It was about coming home after a long journey. The beast stopped walking. It sat down in the street like a giant dog. Its head swayed with the rhythm of the music. "I don't believe it," said one of the alien soldiers over the radio. "The beast is sitting down." Jake looked around the plaza. His friends were staring at the beast with wonder. Even the alien soldiers looked amazed. The beast made a sound like singing. It was trying to sing along with the guitar. Its voice was deep and beautiful like a church organ made of crystal. "It has a beautiful voice," and Helen said. Jake tried playing different styles of music. When he played jazz, the beast's song became complex and interesting. When he played classical music, the beast sang in harmony. When he played rock music, the beast became excited and moved its head like it was dancing. "Look at its spines," Ben said. The sharp points on the beast's back were changing color with the music. During sad songs, they glowed blue. During happy songs, they turned yellow and gold. During angry songs, they flashed red. "It's not just hearing the music," Jake said. "It's feeling it." The beast moved closer. Now it was right at the edge of the plaza. Jake could see his reflection in its glass-like skin. The beast lowered its huge head toward him. Jake reached out his hand. The beast moved its head closer. Jake touched the beast's face. Its skin was warm and smooth like polished stone. "Jake, be careful," Lisa said. But Jake was not afraid. The beast's eyes were gentle now. It made a soft purring sound like a giant cat. Jake played another song, this one about friendship. The beast closed its eyes and listened. Its breathing became slow and peaceful. "It's falling asleep," Helen said. "No," Jake said. "It's just relaxed. I think it's been afraid for a long time." Jake thought about all the times the aliens had attacked the beast. All the weapons they had used. All the pain they had caused. The beast had been defending itself the only way it knew how. "This beast isn't evil," Jake said. "It's just scared and alone." Over the radio, Jake could hear the alien commanders talking. They were arguing about what to do. Some wanted to attack while the beast was calm. Others wanted to study this new development. "Don't attack," Jake said into his radio. "The beast is not our enemy. It destroyed our cities," came Kethmori's voice. "Because you attacked it first," Jake said. "Look at the scars on its body. How many times have you hurt it?" The beast opened its eyes and looked at Jake. It made a questioning sound. Jake started, playing a new song. This one was about forgiveness and new beginnings. The beast's spines glowed with soft white light. "I think it wants to be friends," Jake said. Ben laughed. "A beast the size of a building wants to be friends. Who would have thought?" Jake played for another hour. The beast never moved from its position. It just listened and sang along. Sometimes it would reach out with one massive finger and gently touch Jake's guitar. "The other beasts are coming," Helen said, looking at her scanner. In the distance, Jake could see 2 more beasts walking toward the plaza. They were smaller than the first one, but still huge. "Are they coming to attack?" Lisa asked. No, Jake said. I think they heard the music. They want to listen too. The two new beasts sat down near the first one. Jake played for all three of them. They sang together in harmony, their voices creating beautiful music that echoed through the empty city. This changes everything, Lisa said. If we can communicate with them through music, maybe we can make peace. Jake smiled and kept playing. For the first time in years, the beasts were not destroying anything. They were just listening to music and singing along. Maybe this was the beginning of something wonderful. Dr. Helen Carter watched her instruments with growing excitement. The numbers on her screens were unlike anything she had ever seen. The beast's brain activity was off the charts. Jake, you need to see this, she called over the radio from the shuttle. Can't stop now, Jake replied. He was still playing guitar for the three beasts. They're starting to trust me. Their brains are incredibly active. These aren't just animals, Jake. They're as smart as we are, maybe smarter. The largest beast, the one that had destroyed half the city, was humming along with Jake's guitar. Its massive head swayed back and forth like it was keeping time with the music. The other two beasts watched and learned, copying the first one's movements. Back on the space station, alien scientists were going crazy trying to understand what they were seeing. Kaithamori stared at his screens with his mouth open. This is impossible, he said. The beasts are just destructive animals. They cannot think. The evidence says otherwise, said another alien scientist. Look at their brain scans. They show complex thought patterns. We have been wrong, said a third alien. For hundreds of years we have been wrong. On the planet's surface, Jake was discovering something amazing. When he played different types of music, the beasts responded in different ways. Sad music made them sing low, mournful songs. Happy music made them move and dance. Angry music made their spines glow red. But they did not attack. They just expressed the anger through their songs. They understand emotions, Jake said to Helen. Music makes them feel the same things we feel. Try playing something complex, Helen suggested. See if they can follow complicated patterns. Jake switched to a jazz piece with intricate timing and multiple melodies. The largest beast listened carefully for a few minutes, then began to sing along. Its voice followed every twist and turn of the music perfectly. It learned the whole song just by listening, Ben said with amazement. That takes serious intelligence. The second beast joined in, harmonizing with the first. The third beast added its own melody on top. Together, they created music more beautiful than anything Jake had ever heard. They're improvising, Jake said. They're making up new parts of the song as they go. Helen's excitement grew as she watched her readings. Jake, I think they're trying to communicate with us. The patterns in their songs match patterns of language. What do you mean? They're not just singing random notes, there's structure to it, grammar, syntax, they're trying to tell us something. Jake listened more carefully to the beast's songs. Helen was right. There were repeating patterns like words in a sentence. Some sounds came back again and again, like they had specific meanings. Can you record everything? Jake asked. Maybe. We can figure out what they're saying. Already on it, Helen replied. The largest beast stopped singing and looked directly at Jake. It made a series of sounds that seemed different from its singing, short bursts followed by longer ones, like it was asking a question. Jake tried to copy the sounds with his guitar. The beast listened carefully, then repeated the pattern back to him. It was like they were having a conversation. It's working, Jake said. We're actually talking to each other. Over the next few hours, Jake learned several words in the beast's language. A rising tone seemed to mean hello or greeting. A falling tone meant sadness or pain. A complex trill meant happiness or joy. The beasts were patient teachers. When Jake got something wrong, they would gently correct him by repeating the right pattern. When he got something right, they would sing with obvious pleasure. This is the discovery of the century, Helen said. We've made first contact with an intelligent species, and we're learning to speak their language, but there was more to discover. As Jake played different songs, he began to understand that the beasts had their own stories to tell. Their songs spoke of loneliness, of fear, of watching their world change around them. I think they're trying to tell us their history, Jake said. He played a sad song about loss and death. The largest beast responded with the most heartbreaking melody Jake had ever heard. The other beasts joined in, their voices creating a symphony of grief. They've lost something important, Jake said. I can hear it in their music. Helen checked her long-range scanners. Jake, I'm picking up more beasts approaching. A lot more. In the distance, Jake could see them coming. Dozens of beasts, all sizes, walking toward the plaza. Their glass-like skin caught the sunlight and threw rainbows across the city. Are they coming to attack? Lisa asked, her hand moving toward her weapon. No, Jake said. They heard the music. They want to join in. As each new beast arrived, it sat down with the others. Soon the plaza was surrounded by peaceful giants, all listening to Jake's guitar. When he played, they sang along. When he stopped, they waited patiently for more. There must be 50 of them, Ben said. More coming, Helen reported. This might be their entire population. Jake realized he was witnessing something incredible. These beasts had been hunted and attacked for centuries. They had every reason to hate humans and aliens, but music had brought them together in peace. The largest beast moved closer to Jake. It lowered its head until it was almost touching the ground. Very gently, it nudged Jake with its nose. I think it wants to show me something, Jake said. He climbed onto the beast's head. The creature stood up slowly, lifting Jake high into the air. From this height, Jake could see across the entire city. The beast began to sing a new song. This one was different from the others. It was ancient and complex, full of history and meaning. As it sang, the other beasts joined in, their voices creating layers of harmony. Jake, Helen's voice came over the radio, filled with wonder. I'm translating parts of their song. It's about this planet, about their people, about what happened to them. What are they saying? They're singing about their cities, their families, their children. Jake, this planet belonged to them. They built a civilization here long before any of us arrived. Jake felt sick as he understood. The aliens had not discovered an empty planet full of dangerous beasts. They had invaded someone else's home and called the original inhabitants monsters. They're not attacking us, Jake said. They're trying to protect their world. The song continued, telling the story of a peaceful people who lived in crystal cities. They spoke in music and built their homes in harmony with nature. Then strangers came from the sky with weapons and took their land. We destroyed their civilization, Jake said. We drove them from their homes and called them animals when they fought back. The beast's song grew sadder as it told of families separated, of children lost, of a proud people reduced to hiding in the ruins of their own world. But the song isn't finished, Helen said. They're still singing. The melody changed, becoming hopeful. The beast sang about Jake, about music bringing understanding, about the possibility of peace. They sang about rebuilding, about sharing their world instead of fighting over it. They're offering to forgive us, Jake said, tears running down his face. After everything we did to them, they still want to try for peace. As the song ended, all the beasts looked at Jake. Their eyes held intelligence, wisdom, and hope. They were waiting to see what he would do next. 3 months later, Jake stood in the rebuilt plaza of Veltar City. The buildings around him were different now. Human engineers had worked with the beasts to create structures that honored both styles of architecture, glass and metal mixed, with the crystal formations the beasts preferred. Are you ready? Helen asked. She was setting up recording equipment for the ceremony. As ready as I'll ever be, Jake replied, tuning his guitar. Today was the day of the Great Symphony, the first official concert between humans, aliens, and the beasts. Leaders from across the galaxy had come to witness this historic moment. Commander, Lisa Rodriguez stood with Keth Mori and other alien leaders. The Zephyrians had learned much in the past 3 months. They were still proud, but they had accepted that their way was not always the best way. I still find it hard to believe, Keth Mori said. We spent centuries trying to destroy them, and they are willing to forgive us. Music opened a door that weapons never could, Lisa replied. Jake showed us that understanding is more powerful than force. In the plaza, dozens of beasts waited patiently. They had learned to control their size-changing abilities, making themselves smaller so they could fit in the city without damaging buildings. The largest beast, who Jake had learned was called Singing Wind Through Crystal, sat in the center like a conductor waiting for the orchestra to begin. Children from the human colony sat in the front rows. They had been learning to play instruments, specifically for this day. Next to them sat young beasts, barely the size of cars, their spines glowing with excitement. "Welcome, everyone," Jake said into his microphone. His voice echoed across the plaza and was broadcast to ships in orbit. "Today we're not just making music, we're building bridges between worlds." Jake started with a simple melody on his guitar. It was the first song he had played for the beasts, the one that had started everything. Singing Wind Through Crystal joined in immediately, its voice rich and harmonious. One by one, the other beasts added their voices. Then the human children began playing their instruments. Finally, the Zephyrian delegation activated their electronic music devices, adding complex rhythms and electronic harmonies. The music that filled the plaza was unlike anything anyone had ever heard. 3 different species with 3 different ways of understanding sound, creating something beautiful together. Ben Taylor, now appointed as the human ambassador to the beasts, watched from the side of the plaza. He had learned to speak the musical language of the beasts and often served as a translator during important negotiations. "The young ones are learning fast," he said to Helen. She nodded, watching the beast children and human children play together. Music really is a universal language. It breaks down barriers that words can't touch. As the concert continued, Jake introduced new pieces. He played classical music from Earth, and the beasts sang ancient songs from their lost civilization. The Zephyrians shared their mathematical compositions, turning numbers into melodies. But the most moving moment came when Singing Wind Through Crystal began to sing alone. Its song told the story of the past 3 months. It sang about fear turning into trust, about enemies becoming friends, about a world learning to heal. The melody was picked up by other beasts, then by the human children, then by everyone in the plaza. Even people watching from orbit joined in through their communication devices. For one perfect moment, 3 species sang together in complete harmony. "Remarkable," said an alien observer from the Galactic Council. "In all my years of diplomacy, I have never seen anything like this." After the main concert ended, Jake walked among the crowd. Humans, aliens, and beasts were talking together, sharing food and learning from each other. The sight filled him with pride and hope. A small beast approached him, barely bigger than a large dog. Its name was Little Echo of Joy, and it was one of the youngest. It had learned to play simple melodies by vibrating its spines. "Teacher Jake," it sang in the musical language. "Will you teach me the Earth song about flying?" "Of course," Jake replied, switching to the musical speech. He had become fluent in the past 3 months. As he taught the young beast to play Fly Me to the Moon, Jake reflected on how much had changed. The beasts were no longer seen as monsters. They had been recognized as the original inhabitants of the planet and given full rights to their ancestral lands. The human colony had been moved to areas the beasts considered neutral territory. In return, the beasts shared their knowledge of crystal technology and harmonic engineering. Together they were building cities that sang in the wind. Even the Zephyrians had changed. They had begun incorporating music into their own culture again, remembering arts they had abandoned long ago. Some of their young people were learning to play earth instruments. "Jake," called a familiar voice. He turned to see Singing Wind Through Crystal approaching. The great beast had shrunk itself down to about the size of a large truck for easier conversation. "Yes, old friend?" Jake replied in musical speech. "I have something to show you," the beast sang. "A gift for the human who brought peace." The beast led Jake to a section of the plaza that had been empty before. Now it held a crystal sculpture that reached toward the sky. The crystal sang softly in the wind, creating a constant melody. "It is a memory song," Singing Wind Through Crystal explained. "It will play music forever, remembering this day when 3 peoples became one." Jake touched the crystal and felt its vibrations. The song it played was the melody he had first shared with the beasts, but now it was woven together with beast harmonies and Zephyrian rhythms. "It's beautiful," Jake said. "Thank you." "Thank you, music bringer," the beast replied. "You saved us all." As the day ended and the crowds began to disperse, Jake sat in the plaza with his guitar. The crystal sculpture sang its eternal song, while in the distance beast families called to their children in musical voices. Helen sat down beside him. "Penny, for your thoughts?" "I'm thinking about my grandfather," Jake said. "He always said music could tame any wild beast. I just never thought he meant it literally. What do you think he would say if he could see this?" Jake smiled and began playing his grandfather's favorite song, the one about coming home. The crystal sculpture harmonized with his guitar, and in the distance the beasts sang along. "I think he'd say that the wildest beasts are often just lonely souls, looking for someone to understand their song." As night fell over Veltar City, the music continued. Human children fell asleep to beast lullabies. Alien scientists studied harmonic equations with their new beast colleagues. And in the rebuilt plaza, a crystal monument sang the song that had brought three worlds together. Jake packed up his guitar and headed home, knowing that tomorrow would bring new music, new understanding, and new hope for a galaxy learning to sing in harmony. The beast that no weapon could stop had been conquered by a simple song. And in that victory, everyone had won.